Well, hello, Eagle fans, and welcome to the Week 8 Inside Look at Ouachita Christian Eagle Football. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Sonic Drive-In of North Monroe, located on 165. Be sure to stop by there, get a snack, a drink, a dessert, or a meal on your way to Ruston this Friday. Also want to thank honeyholeshop.com to make sure our broadcast team has the gear that they need. Today, I'm honored to be here with two of our seniors, number 2, Parker Payne, number 25, Drew Dugan. Guys, thanks for coming along. How are y'all doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. So, tough game last week. Never want to take a loss, but I've enjoyed watching you two guys play. So I want to ask you some specific questions, each one of you, and then I'm going to ask you some that have to do with the future and things like that. So the first one, Parker, you play rover.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what does that mean? What is a rover position?
It's kind of like an outside backer, safety type of player. Sometimes I'm on the tight end in a 9 technique. Sometimes I'm out in space covering, and just kind of versatile.
Yeah, definitely. I think both of you have a versatility. Drew, you play offense a lot, and I guess you would call your position a tight end, but it's not really a traditional tight end position. You move there, you go into the backfield sometimes, you split out wide sometimes. So talk about that position a little bit.
Well, my main position is tight end, but just with some of the guys we've had to come out, Coach Vadreen's comfortable putting me at wide out. I've been at slot, I've been at fullback, tight end. But I'm just mainly play tight end though.
Yeah. So Drew, last week you had a big game. You had a good game. 4 catches for 68 yards. On the season, you've got 9 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown. That makes you the second leading receiver on our team after last week's game. So what I want to ask you about is last year you played the tight end position, and you've kind of grown into that role and become more and more of an impact player on offense. What's that development been like for you?
It's been pretty fun, just getting in the gym, working, and I knew I was gonna have a pretty decent year when we were playing the 7-on-7s, and I was just having a good 7-on-7s, and it was exciting knowing that I wasn't even going to be the best guy like on our offense. We got Tate, Zach, Jet, Patrick, Luke. We got John. Macon comes in, has good productions. We got a pretty well-rounded offense.
Yeah, and very good. And you're a big part of that offense. And on the other side of the ball, Parker. So your journey, I guess, through high school has been a little bit different than that as far as growing into a position. Last year, was it Watson Chapel that
Yes,
you
sir.
had the injury? Yeah, first game of the year. When Chad broke his leg, I mean, it was a pretty graphic scene, and the whole stadium went quiet. But not, I guess people do know. But you broke your leg that game. Also, it wasn't as as nasty of an injury, but you were out for a while. During that game, though, you were making some plays. You had a nose for the ball. You were making tackles, and so it was disappointing to see you go down because I was looking forward to watching you have a big season last year. This year, you come in, you start at the rover position, like you mentioned, pretty versatile. You play at all 3 levels on defense. What's that been like coming back from an injury like that and trying to get your game speed, I guess, back in shape?
It was kind of a good thing because when I was playing last year, I was kind of undersized. So when I got hurt, I kind of took that time to get bigger and stronger and then gain some weight. And I came back out, and I just feel like I'm more like up to competition with them.
Yeah. Y'all both look good. Look like you've done a lot of work in the off season. You got 34 tackles on the season, 2 for loss, 1 sack, a couple passes defended, and then you had the block punt last week. So if you look for number 2, you'll see him in all different areas of the field. So you guys are seniors this year. You've played football all 4 years of high school. That means you've been to New Orleans a couple times and played in the state championship game. So you've seen a lot of football. You've been involved in a lot of football at Ouachita Christian. Parker, you can go first and tell us what is your most memorable, favorite moment of your career up to this point?
My probably most favorite moment is when we won last year. But like that whole experience is like fun, going down there with your team and just having fun with them, and then that night in the hotel and just getting ready. It's like a bunch of adrenaline going into that game, but once you finally win it, it's like a relief.
Yeah, and the good thing is you guys have been there before, so you know what it's going to take again to get there this year. And I know you have your goals set on reaching that again this year. Drew, same question. You've had some big moments, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But what's been your favorite memory as a football player here?
My favorite was the one was winning last year, but my most memorable one was probably us losing my sophomore year, because after feeling that way, I never wanted to feel that again.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just all the work that we put in the off season, make sure we didn't feel like that again the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, you had a big state championship game last year, right? 2 touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you guys have been impact players, on this team. Look forward to watching you in this final stretch of the season as we play Cedar Creek this Friday. District opponent. We're 1-0 in district. Want to go 2-0. What can we expect from the Cougars this Friday? Parker, you go ahead.
They're running that flexible on offense, so we just got to stay in our spots, do our job, and it should all work out. Just take them seriously and do our jobs.
Yeah, so, Drew, I want to ask you, how do you regroup and recover after a tough loss, getting ready to play a district opponent this week?
Just go back, watch film, see what we could have worked on. We got a lot of false starts, a lot of bad penalties on offense, and that's what we'll be working on this week. We're going to come out and fix it Friday.
All right, sounds good. Last question, and then we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll have Coach Fitzhugh on, ask him a few questions. Parker, what are your plans for next year?
Next year, I'm either going to go to ULM or Tech, and then major in biology, and then after that, I'll probably head down to the Louisiana School in New Orleans to be an orthodontist.
Oh, very cool. What about you, Drew?
I'm going to head to ULM or Tech, get in business and see what all my options are.
Yeah, see what opportunities open up. Well, look, guys, I want to say thank you again for coming on here. I want to say that, being in the broadcast booth, it's an honor and a privilege to watch you guys play each week. I wish both of you luck the rest of the season. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with head coach Stephen Fitzhugh.
There comes a time in every dip's life when it's ready to leave the slow cooker, even buffalo chicken dip. So we put juicy chicken, buffalo sauce, and melty cheese in a portable crispy golden shell. Runaway dip, you're free now. Sonic $2.99 buffalo chicken dip bites.
All right, welcome back to Week 8, Inside Look at Ouachita Christian Eagle Football. I'm here with head coach Stephen Fitzhugh. And, Coach, tough loss last week, 31-14. High-level opponent that we played. Moves us to 6-1 on the season. I asked the boys this just a few minutes ago, but, going in undefeated, haven't lost a game since Ouachita last year. Played some tough games, but, going up, traveling to Arkansas, getting beat, and then having to bounce back, getting ready for district play. How was the response for your team this week?
Well, you get beat, you get ready to get on the field real quick. You're ready to get that taste out of your mouth. And again, we made plenty of mistakes last week. Harding Academy is an excellent football team, number 1 ranked in 4A, and they just outplayed us and out-hustled us and in every part of the game. And that's the challenge is again, guys, they were not bigger than Ouachita or Oak Grove or Dallas Christian. These teams, they just flat out hustled us and out hit us, and they made the plays and we didn't. And so I would rather, as we talked about Monday, I'd rather get that wake up call right now in week 7 than to get that wake up call in week 12, week 13. Right. And so hopefully that lit a spark in our guys, that they realize that you can't take anything for granted each and every week, that you go out, there's a big bullseye on our chest, that you're going to get that kind of effort from everybody that we play. And so, again, hopefully that lit a spark and a fire and a hunger in our guys to respond this week and come out again, focus on that execution and hustle and energy and things such as that. So.
Well, after last week was fall break, and if you talk to people after the game, they'll say, well, we didn't do this or we didn't do that. And I know some people said, well, it was fall break, the boys were off their schedule. So what impact do you think that had? I know we talked about it last week. You said practices went great. The guys seemed ready. But did that have an impact on our performance that week?
I feel like fall break helped us be more ready. I mean, we got to watch more film last week. I mean, we didn't have school. Kids didn't have tests. And so, again, we actually, as a team, was able to watch some film, which we don't get to do as much as a team. We watch it individually in groups and stuff like that. But as a team, we got to watch film. We had a different schedule, but we have different schedules during Thanksgiving break every year, and so fall break had nothing to do with it. Like that, we just got outplayed and out hustled.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good answer, and I agree with you. I just from my opinion, whatever that's worth. But I do want to talk about a couple of details from last week's game, and I know it's something that. As a coach, you want to flush it, move on, look ahead to Cedar Creek, and we're going to do that in just a minute. But one of the things that I saw, and I think that shows on paper, is that we had opportunities to score that game and really kind of, I wouldn't say take control of that game, but give ourselves an opportunity to win that game. 4 trips to the red zone. First one, we miss a field goal. The second one, we get down to the 6, and
False start.
False start. Get back out. We eventually score on that one. The third one, we get down to the 6. Okay, we have 1st and goal from the 6. We get a penalty, a tackle for loss, and then a snap that goes 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. We end up with 4th and goal from the 31, and at that point in the game, you got to get points on the board, and so we go for it and don't score. And then the last one, under 2 minutes left, we block a punt. We get the ball in the red zone, and we don't do much with it. So 2 times we were not just in the red zone, but inside the 6. And again, I think that's the difference in having an opportunity to win that game. So what do you attribute those to? Because it was really in the red zone and in critical points when our offense failed to execute.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a different person each time that false started. I mean, welcome to the life of teenagers.
Yeah, that's right.
and but I mean, there's no doubt. You talk about 3 trips that you come up empty. That's 21 points. And so when you're playing a good football team at any point in time, you got to make the most of those opportunities. And we certainly didn't do that. And again, different person, different mistake. Each time in the red zone, it wasn't the same person. They took turns. And, again, it was not our A game the other night. And when you play great competition, you better bring your A game and have that discipline to execute the plays that you have worked on, be in sync with each other and things like that. And so, again, we just got to have a better focus.
Yeah, 100%. And, even it was in the red zone, but it was also on 3rd and 4th down. We struggled on 3rd down. I went back and looked at kind of the play-by-play, and I noticed that on 3rd down it was 3rd and 12, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 13. For us, for the Wildcats, though, it was 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And so they were able to convert those, keep those drives alive. Even after all that, we still possessed the ball longer. We had good drives that we just didn't cap off. When it came to those big spots, in the red zone and with 3rd and long, our 3rd down, we had penalties, costly penalties. So I know Drew mentioned that y'all had worked on that in practice this week. So
yeah, hopefully we got all those out of the way.
That's right. But other than that, I thought there were some good things that we saw from our team that we can build on. Is that what you think going into the Cedar Creek game?
No, we definitely got to build on again. That was again, we just did not play well offensively, defensively. Special teams did come up with some plays that made things happen. Again, the block punt, fake punt, and some things like that. But defensively, we gave up several big plays that I think of their 400 yards of offense, 200 of it came on 5 plays. And so again, that comes down to communication, each person doing their job, and again, that's in order to be successful defensively, you got to avoid giving up the big play. And so, offense, defense, we just did not play our best game. Academy took advantage of things, and they made the plays and executed better than we did. So, coming into week 8, you hope you get those things ironed out. I mean, we've certainly looked at it on film. and worked on it this week in practice. It's a matter of going out and executing those things, on Friday night.
All right, so Cedar Creek, the Cougars around the corner. They are 3-3 on the season. You look at their schedule, they lost their first 3 games against Glenbrook, Vidalia, and Winfield. And then they've won 3 in a row since then. But their competition hasn't been elite quality. It's Delhi, Tensas, and Lafayette Renaissance Charter. So kind of a different level of competition than the other schedules that we've seen and the other teams that we've played. So how much do we know about Cedar Creek just from the film that we've watched in them?
Well, you're going to learn real quick, Ladd Thompson.
Yeah.
Number 7 for them, he is their ball player that makes things happen. He's probably started every year of high school, and he starts defensively as well. And Lilo, their fullback linebacker, he's started for several years, and they're a hard-nosed football team. I mean, that's the thing. They should be 5-1 right now. They lost their kicker, during the off season. He went to a different school. But they are 2 of their 3 losses were by 2 points. It comes down to the 2-point conversions, and so, like I say, they're a couple of 2-point conversions away from being a 5-1 team. They got beat by Winfield 20-0, and Ladd did not play that game, and so I didn't even bother to trade films with them on that particular game because that tells the story right there. He is the difference maker on their team, the heart and soul of their team, and just a fierce competitor. Coach Parkinson is doing a good job there. His first year back, he was with them whenever they were very successful back in the 16, 17, 18 era, all that. And he was the offense coordinator for their flex bone offense. And so he's come back. He has gone back to the flex bone, and that's an offense that you do not see a whole lot. The last time River Oaks ran it last year, but the previous time before that we've seen it was back in the Dome in 2019. And so it's an offense that you really, again, you don't see a whole lot. They're practicing it every week, scheming, getting the fundamentals down, whereas the defense comes in and, okay, in 1 week we got to get ready for this offense that we hadn't seen in a full year. And so it's going to be real big that our defense plays fundamentally sound every single play, because what they're betting on is that just at least one of the guys will do something wrong on one of the first few plays. I mean, I'm familiar with the flex bone because that's what Harding runs.
That's right.
And I've got 2 sons who are in that cult up there with the flex bone, and I mean they believe in it. And again, when teams get good at it, they're dangerous. I mean, for example, they say 3 yards in a cloud of dust, keep the ball out of the opponent's hand, but Harding's averaging 50 points a game right now, and it's ground and pound. And so it's because defenses do not play assignment football. So that's what's going to be critical for us this week defensively, is that we play assignment football, do the things right on the defensive side, and then on offense, we execute. Did not execute well last week, and so 14 points offensively, that's a rarity for us. That happened in the first game of the season, and then after that, we started getting on track and executing well. And again, we just didn't execute well last week, and so again, we got all that out of our system. We'll come out and execute this week, but it's always a battle with Cedar Creek. Their kids, they play hard every time that we line up and compete against each other. And as we told our guys, everybody we play, there's a big bullseye on our chest that they're gunning for us. And so, again, we know it's going to be a battle, and we got to take care of the football defensively, play assignment football, not give up the big play.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Parkinson over there at Cedar Creek. They've had kind of a high turnover rate over the last couple of years at the top with their coaches, and that can be challenging. And I think the biggest impact that it has had on the Cougars is their roster size. I mean, you look at their roster, they've got about 28, 29 players that dress out. So if you look at it, it looks like a team that doesn't dress out many players. But you mentioned Ladd Thompson, and you look at what they put out on the field, and there's some good football players out there. Ladd's been playing, like you said, for the last 4 years. He's been a running back, receiver, returner, all those things. And this year, he's moved into that quarterback position. So we haven't seen him play the quarterback position very much, but he is a Swiss Army knife, great athlete. I think he was I think he was Cedar Creek's only invite to the I-20 Bowl also, so he's a good player. It's also tough to play in Ruston at Cedar Creek. OCS is 16-2 all time against Cedar Creek, and those two losses both came on the road. And then just a couple years ago in 21, just a kind of classic game over there when less than 2 minutes left, Tristan scores, goes down the field, you know, and then we get a pick six from James David Miller of all people. It was a great game, exciting game. We ended up seeing them later in the playoffs, and we won pretty handily. But that shows you how tough it is to play over there.
They always, Cedar Creek always plays well at home, and it's a battle. And again, we know it will be this week as well.
Yep. So a win there. This is kind of going into the final stretch of the season. The good thing about, if you can take anything away from the loss to Harding Academy, is it didn't bury us in the PowerPoints race. And so I don't know where we're sitting. It's switching all the time. Some news came out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but the LHSAA met, did this reclassification. On that list, we find ourselves in 2A, which means we'll have if that stands, which who knows, but we'll be in a whole new district this year. Have you put much thought into what that's going to look like next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we figure we'll slide into us and Delhi Charter move up, and then in District 2 of Class 2A, Vidalia moves out, and General Trask moves out. And so we figure we'll probably slide right there into that spot and be in an 8-team district next year, and which means we would play weeks 1, 2, and 3, of a non-district schedule, and then get into our schedule of district games starting in week 4. And so again, a little bit different this year, going from a district of 4 teams where you play 3 games to a district of 8 teams where you're playing a 7-game district schedule. So, but yeah, that's I've talked to a couple of the coaches already, and they feel that that's probably the direction it could go and stuff like that as well.
So that would put us with like Mangum and
Mangum, Rayville, Madison, Delhi Charter, Oak Grove, ourselves, Beekman.
Union Parish.
Well, no, I think them and Darbone will go over to the Shreveport area. That's where Darbone is right now, and it could move things over that direction to where they have an 8-team district with who's moving up and who's moved out and stuff like that. So, again, I feel like that Shreveport district could be 8 teams with Calvary. I think Union and Darbone could go over that way, and then I think that we would just, like I say, us and Delhi Charter would move into the current District 2A and take the places of Vidalia and General Trask who are moving out.
So that would that makes it easier as a coach to schedule throughout the season.
It makes it much easier.
But in addition to that, that would kind of line up a whole new set of opponents that we could possibly see in the playoffs. Most notably, our familiar foe, the Cavaliers from Calvary Baptist. So something to look forward to. I don't know if they're going to meet again and talk about it, but it is interesting to kind of look ahead to next year. So we kick off 7 p.m. Friday night in Ruston against Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek is 0-0 in district. This will be their first district game. Eagles come in at 1-0 after a victory against St. Fred's. Again, want to thank our sponsors, Sonic Drive-In, 165 North Monroe. Stop by, get you something on your way to the game on Friday. Also want to thank honeyholeshop.com. And, Coach, I want to thank you for taking time to come in on here. And I know it's not always fun to reflect on tough games, but, hey, we're entering the final stretch to our season. Looking forward to a playoff run. So
hey,
good luck.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you and Coach Q doing everything y'all do.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for watching.